Hey YouTube, we're at the shrine again. This is day two, starting off the day with this simple dead one off in the corner of a parking lot. Doing a little voiceover. I was testing out a mic this day and it didn't work out very well. Um, this is one of my favorite things to do, is just like spruces and pine trees when you get to just rip a bunch of small, quick branches. Um, this is my Echo. It's a 2511T. I changed the timing on it. I did a gasket delete. I ported the intake and exhaust and the transfers. Um, when I first got it and started it, actually, it was very slow, and I was like, "What did I just do?" You know, it was like 500 something bucks, and I was like, "I just bought a very weak tool." But in all honesty, if you can have someone do some work to it or buy a ported one, it's amazing because you get the power and the speed with the lightest saw you can get. It's like 5.5 pounds unfilled. Um, it's amazing. That's all I can say. Right here, Kevin and I, as usual, busting our butts. Um, we do have the winch and we do have the Avant there with the grapple, but sometimes when it comes to loading things, if you can get the chipper right to it, sometimes the most efficient way is just to dice it up and put it in by hand. A lot of times you'd think it would suck it in, but it gets jammed up, and then it makes for awkward situations of pulling stuff out and cutting stuff in the chute of the chipper. um, but this is, a nice way to start off the day. These were a bunch of dead trees around the parking lot, so it was a bunch of just quick felling. In these scenarios, you still got to look out. I think I show it, but there's some branches above that these trees can get caught in. Obviously, I wouldn't want it to roll over to my lift. For the most part, it's a pretty safe area to work in, though. So we lay out one, two, three, four of these. And then we do a bigger one in the background. I actually let Kevin dabble on the saw for a bit. He hasn't had a bunch of hours on the saw, so I tried to put him on trees that are in a safe open area where it's acceptable to fail and you won't do any damage. Obviously, you can still always hurt yourself, so I'm right there, and you'll see. We'll get into it. Thought I would interject here for a second and say, when you're pricing out jobs like these, um, they appear to be really easy because they're basically like a one-cut fell. But just keep in mind that if people want it picked up, it's going to be a very large area of very small broken debris when you have dead trees. These shatter. If you ever do like ash tree jobs and they want it cleaned up, just factor in some raking time, because when they shatter into a bunch of pieces, you're not just picking up large pieces and shoving them in, then you're raking. And when you rake, you also have to be careful because you could be getting, like in this scenario, rocks, and you can't be putting that into the chipper. So now you have to think about where is that debris going, because it's not going through the chipper. Usually most places have a dumping spot, and that's the best. If not, then you are using a shovel and throwing it over the back gate of your dump truck. And my dump truck is actually an F450, so it's pretty low in the tree world. Like some of the tree trucks, you really have to get them up in there. But something to think about. It's never just felling the tree. It's the cleanup. It's the whole job. Way more factors. Fuel, insurance, all sorts of stuff. Good. lock back on. Snap off. See if it's gonna. Oh, nice. Kevin's over there finishing greasing up the chipper, getting ready for another tree. Let's drop this one. There's a little bit of poison ivy on this tree, so I usually use the back cut. Or the back of the bar. Shut my saw off for you. Awesome. Gets it. Next, Kevin is going to cut down this tree here. It's got no top. Nice and thick, good one to practice on. Alright, so here's Kevin working on the face cut. Like I said, always put your guys in so that they can learn, but try to do it in areas where if they are to fail, it's not going to damage anything. So a couple things I wanted to say is when he gets into the back cut, his back cut is a little high. You really only want it to be like 1.5 to 2 inches above the hinge, like the very crotch of the hinge. You want your back cut to be only like 1.5 inches above that in the back. He does like 4, which is a little too much. And also, I always really like to tell people to practice to either be pulling it over, wedging it over, or just pushing it over by hand. You really never want to cut wood until it just falls. You really want to cut it, try it, and then if it doesn't work, cut some more. If it doesn't work, cut some more, because there is no going backwards. And you'll see there ends up basically being no hinge. But like I said, this is a safe scenario and he's learning, so give him a break. It's also day 2 of this year. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. But like I said, he's learning.
Gets it. Let's see, what's here? Yeah, there wasn't much hinge left. Very little. Got 3 more trees to do. I'll show you the setup. There's a lot of people traffic in here right now, walking and in cars, pedestrians. But we're taking down those 3, and we have it pretty well coned off and set up. So chip truck on the other side of the island, and Kevin's just gonna keep it running and see where we can go. But pretty decent sized trees. This is the easiest one, and then these 2 are quite larger. Like this one right here is, I don't know, almost 3 feet, 2.5 feet. Ready to rip? You can fire it up.